They said you were too emotional, too sensitive, too intense for ministry. But what they called too much was actually discernment. You didn't come to perform, you came to feel God. And that was your first mistake in a system that prefers compliance over connection. The empath walks into a church thinking it's a sanctuary, a place to rest the soul. They sense pain in the pews, lies beneath sermons, and wounds that are dressed in scripture. They volunteer, they pray, they give, they serve, hoping that love will circle back. But instead, they discover that many institutions don't know how to love deeply, only how to organize it, schedule it, and measure it. For the empath, church starts out as home until they realize it was built to contain faith, not to expand it. Now, let me go into what I mean by that. Religion needs order, but the empath carries movement. The empath is guided by whispers that don't wait for permission. They hear God in ways that don't fit the program. And that's when the trouble begins. You'll notice the pattern. The same church that celebrates your gifts when they benefit them will question your spirit when it begins to convict them. The same pastors who once said you're anointed will later whisper you're out of order. What they can't label, they exile. What they can't control, they crucify. This is the part no one talks about, the loneliness after excommunication. The way you question your worth because people in holy roles said you were dangerous. The nights you replay every conversation, wondering if you really heard God or if you imagined it, is spiritual abandonment, being rejected by the very system that taught you to seek love in it. But what if that rejection wasn't punishment? What if it was redirection? See, God often removes his prophets from polluted pulpits. He sends them into deserts, not to destroy them, but to detox them from man made approval. The chosen aren't expelled because they're wrong, they're expelled because their presence exposes rot. You carried light into rooms where power hid behind scripture. You exposed agendas that sound like worship but smell like manipulation. And so the system did what systems do, it preserved itself. The empath exile is the system's confession. Every betrayal was proof that your calling was real. They had to cast you out to keep pretending they were still pure. Outside the church walls, there's silence, but also clarity. You start to meet others like you, the outcasts, the healers, the dreamers, those who couldn't fit because they were never meant to. You realize that God never lived in the building, He lived in you. That's when the empath begins to rebuild their altar, not with bricks and pews, but with truth, compassion, and inner alignment. You start to pray differently, not for titles of validation, but for peace and purpose. The wilderness becomes the classroom, and your pain becomes the syllabus. When religion fails the empath, heaven reassigns them. The same people who tried to silence you will soon need the truth you carried. Because revival never starts from the pulpit, it starts with the rejected. It starts with the ones who kept hearing God. even after the church said he stopped talking. So when they excommunicated you, they didn't cut you off, they freed you. You are not broken, you are being recommissioned. Eventually, every empath who was cast out finds their own ministry. It may look like stained glass, it might be art, music, teaching, healing, truth telling. But the Spirit flows through it just the same. When the chosen return, they don't come back seeking revenge. They come carrying revelation. The empath becomes the living sermon that religion could never preach. Because what the church lost, the world gained. To every empath who was told they didn't belong, understand this: the exile was proof that your intimacy with God was real. Religion feared what it couldn't contain, and heaven still walks with you. You were never supposed to serve at the altar. You are the altar. Thank you for visiting my channel. Stay covered, stay conscious, stay undefeated. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.